If you want to get in contact with me, the best way to do it is on Instagram. If you just want to say what up, if you want to tell me you love my videos, you can tell me that you hate my videos, but the best way to do that is on Instagram. Peace, y'all. Jonny Fastlane here. So, Nicki Minaj's husband just got arrested for not registering as a sex offender. And is Juelz Santana dissing Cam'ron? Plus, Lil Baby gives back. Let's talk hip-hop. Alright, so this is pretty crazy, and I'm not sure if y'all know, but Nicki Minaj's husband spent some time in prison, right? So he has like two major, I guess, charges that everybody's like, whoa, right? One is like a manslaughter charge that he did like 7 years for, like involuntary manslaughter. I guess he killed somebody by mistake, whatever, right? But then the second charge is a like attempted rape charge that he had when he was like 16 years old, where it was like attempted rape on like a 15-year-old girl or something like that, and that girl was like his girlfriend at the time, right? He ended up getting convicted and serving 4 years in prison for that, right? That was his first stint. And the whole situation is that in the state of New York, once you get convicted for something like that and you get out of prison, you still have to register as a sex offender, right? So that means that basically you have to let everybody in your community know where you live, what your address is, and they have apps where you can actually look up like the sex offenders in your area. There's a mugshot picture of them and also a list of their charges, you know, unlawful touching in the 3rd degree or whatever the case may be, right? So it's crazy, but if you live in New York or if you got convicted of any sexual crime in New York, you have to register for federal registry for the sex offender thing, right? That's even if you don't live in New York anymore, right? So anyway, in July, Petty Zoo and Nicki Minaj, they move out of New York and they move to California. Everything's all good, and of course, you know, Nicki Minaj, one, doesn't want a registered sex offender attached to her house and her address, right? Because that's crazy. And two, I'm sure like her celebrity, she doesn't want a lot of people to know exactly where she lives, right? Because then any Joe Blow Schmo fan can look up Kenneth Petty Zoo's name and figure out his exact address where he lives with Nicki Minaj, right? And this is for the safety of like children and schools and stuff like that. They want parents to be able to look up where that pedophile lives to keep your kid away from that house, right? Whole situation is Petty Zoo didn't register as a sex offender in the state of California, so he gets pulled over in November and he gets arrested because they figured out that he's a registered sex offender in New York and he hasn't registered in California, right? They let him go on $20,000 bail on that time, right? They said, please register as a sex offender. He still didn't do it, so then the FBI got involved, and today, well yesterday, he got arrested again, right? This time he was held on a $100,000 bond. They released him, but now he has another court date on March 23rd, right? And at that time, you know, they are going to give him a trial, and they probably, you know, are going to give him some time because he didn't register as a sex offender, and they already arrested him one time and warned him to do so, right? Which is insane. So he's looking up to actually facing 10 years in prison for not registering as a sex offender, which is crazy. So I guess we'll just have to see what happens, right? But that's what's going on for now. And let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. Right, so for y'all that don't know, Juelz Santana is in prison right now, right? He's serving a 2-year sentence because he got caught in the airport with a gun in his checked luggage, right? And the whole situation is he probably just forgot the gun was in there and then started to go fly, and it was like, oh shit, I got a gun in here, and then they arrested him, right? He turned himself in and all that was cool. Before he turned himself in, Dip said they were kind of like doing, you know, a couple of press runs together because they released something new. It was Cam'ron, Juelz Santana, Freaky Zeke, and Jim Jones. I mean, a lot of people were making fun of Juelz Santana because he was missing like his front teeth, which was crazy, right? Looking like a straight crackhead for real, right? The whole situation though is that now he's locked up in prison and he just released a new mixtape. And I don't know if these songs were recorded like before he went in or if somehow he's recording while he's in prison, right? But anyway, so the name of the mixtape is called Free Santana, and one of the songs on there is called In My Life, right? But on the song In My Life, he doesn't specifically say Cam'ron's name, but we all know that Cam'ron is like the big boss CEO of Dipset, and it kind of sounds like Juelz Santana. I wouldn't say that Juelz Santana is dissing Cam'ron because nowhere on the song did he say something like, oh, you a bitch, suck my dick, you bitch ass motherfucker, I'ma see you when I see you. It's not like that, right? So I won't say it's a diss, but it may be just him, like, I guess, airing out his grievances or his issues that he might have with one of his brothers, right? So even though he may be, and he didn't say Cameron's name, so we don't know if he's talking about Cameron, but even if he may be addressing Cameron in the song, it's not like he's saying, fuck you, suck my dick. It's more like, I can't believe this happened this way. I'm kind of hurt, right? So anyway, in the song, in the beginning of the song, he goes, I was the loyalest nigga you ever met. Now I wish you was a nigga that I never met. This was supposed to be a forever thing. Now it's a whatever thing as long as the chatter's clean. I repped us over everything. Never thought that these were the ties I would consider severing, right? So it kind of sounds like he's saying that, you know, he feels bad that there's been a lot of turmoil and that there's been falling out, you know, between him and maybe Cameron and, you know, Jim Jones, right? And then he goes on to say, you ain't build shit yourself, nigga. You just forgot that we all needed help, nigga. For worse or for better, but you taught me that nothing lasts forever, right? And so basically, again, he's just kind of letting people know that his heart is broken, that this whole Dipset thing didn't last forever, but it kind of seems like Dipset, they do go on tour whenever they need to get it back, and I guess that's why he's saying, you know, now it's a whatever thing, as long as the chat is clean, I'll hang out with you, I'll go on tour with you, maybe I'll even do some interviews with you, but the way I'm feeling is that y'all are not my brothers like how we were, you know, back in the early 2000s or whatever, right? And I hear you, but when you are doing crazy things like leaving a gun in your in your carry-on bag and getting caught at the airport and smoking crack and, you know, getting time in prison and everything like that, you know, Juelz Santana and even Jim Jones ain't trying to be around all that bullshit, right? So it's like you got to get yourself right before your niggas could like come through and be like, yo, what up, right? Because nobody wants to be dragged down because of you and your bullshit, right? But anyway, let me know what y'all think about this in the comments.
Fashawn Ray, step on out on the stage, sir. Fashawn Ray was a senior defensive back here at Washington High. He's committed to play football at Dartmouth University.
I got this new thing going on where, like, every year I'm gonna be giving a scholarship. It's gonna be the My Turn scholarship to somebody at Washington. So it's really gonna be like the best student in each grade or something like that. I ain't really sure how they're gonna pass it out. But so I'm gonna give $150,000 to Washington. So I think y'all principals and y'all counselors, they got all the details, but so some of y'all gonna have a chance to get a lifetime scholarship. This is my first year, so next year it is probably hopefully bigger and better.
Yo, this is fire, right? So I just had to highlight this, right? So Lil Baby used to go to Booker T. Washington High School in Atlanta, right? And that's actually where he is right there on stage. So he went back to his old high school and he's like, you know, your principals and your guidance counselors and everybody, they have all the information, and basically quality control is, you know, helping me out with this. But what I'm gonna do is give away $150,000 every single year around this time to, like, you know, just a student who displays like great academic ability or leadership or whatever the case may be, right? He was like, I'm not exactly sure how they're gonna be giving out this money, but you know, they have all the details, right? And this is fire because him going back to his old high school to give away, you know, or give out money or, you know, $150,000 to some student who's gonna go away to college can be life-changing and help them out, right? And this is fire because Lil Baby is the type of dude who knows what it is to grow up in the hood, to grow up in Atlanta, to come up in that school, to grow up in that community. So for him to go back to that community and be like, yo, I remember when I needed some help and there was nobody here, so what I'm gonna do is help you niggas out, is so fire and so dope, right? And it's called the My Turn Scholarship, and this is the first year he's doing it, but he is going to be doing it every single year after this, right? Let me know what y'all think about this and everything else in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification bell. Follow me at Jonny Fastlane on Instagram, and y'all already know what to do. Peace.